Good evening. You're listening live to the Xtreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Pinos Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. I am in the Xtreme Studios with RDV on the line with me tonight. You could say I'm or the RDV. He's such a great guy. He's like a straight G, but I'm the OG because that's tonight's episode, Tulsa King, Stallone, Season 3, Episode 3. RDV, we kind of left off last week talking about Episode 2 of Tulsa King, and I think we spent actually a decent amount of time trying to feel how juicy some of these storylines could go, right? And the fact that this is a weekly drop, I think, is something we both really like because we can only watch one episode a week. And I literally just got done watching it about 5-10 minutes ago. And I got to tell you, overall, I will say this because I think right now, whatever I thought was going to happen may not be happening. But generally speaking, and I've mentioned this for all 3 seasons now, I wish it was a little bit more darker, adult, more mature in some things. You definitely get that in this episode. By far, Season 3, I think, head and shoulders more mature than the other 2. There's still some good humor stuff in here. There's some dumb fucking decisions, but decisions that make sense, and their consequences are there. So far, so good. And I will say this, I like the restrained feeling they have of holding all the big bad guys back and just the threat of what could happen still as yet to be happening in front of us. What's your take on this episode?
Well, for me, the G and the OG is actually has nothing to do with Dunmeyer and all of them, or even, Tyson. That has to do with the G-Man and the OG. Because the G-Man takes the OG to Texas in this episode. Kevin Pollak shows up and he calls Dwight. He's like, I'm going to send you a car to here. You need to go get in this car. And then, So, of course, this they never miss a chance to fuck around with Dwight and say he's old and stuff. Car shows up. He gets dropped there. He gets Bigfoot.
Not just in your car, sir.
No. Listen, let me get there. Bigfoot goes to drop him off this white car. Gets in the back. It turns out it's one of those fucking self-driving cars, the ones they had issues with in real life. I love it. It's not in Tulsa. It's one of those other brands that basically people had real life issues for people where it was driving on oncoming traffic. It got lost because those things are they're shit.
It has to do with the LiDAR, but we don't need to go there.
No. But it was interesting because we still have Tyson in this issue driving a Tulsa Cybertruck.
Cybertruck, yes.
But we also have the competitor crappy car, Anyway, so he gets in there. He's pissed off. He's like, "Where's the driver?" Whatever, and he can't get us locked in there. He's driving. He's freaking out because and he's like, play some music, and it puts on Little Nas, and he's freaking out. He shoots the freaking car.
I love it.
And I'm almost going deaf because how loud it was.
Yep. I'm
surprised that the engine didn't stop though, because he shot right through the thing.
This is funny to me because Tulsa King does this like in every episode, not every episode necessarily, but in every season they have some sort of cultural up-to-date reference here in this electric cars.
Yeah, because basically Dwight got a call, he had to leave, so he told everyone. He told them, "Hey, Goody's in charge. You stay here at the distillery barn thing here, and you just do that till I get back. Don't do anything." So while he's doing that, he gets dropped off by the sub car, and then he can pull out, giving in this little SUV. And he tells him, "We're going to go to Texas. We need to find this guy who's basically a terrorist thing." And they kind of have like a bonding moment, if you say, as
road trip.
Yeah, road trip, pretty much 3-hour road trip. And this basically, they kind of like it's a weird bonding because it's in the same sense, like he's like how Dwight says, "Wait, a terrorist or something? How about we strap a frag grenade under his balls and let him pull the pin, and let the fucker die?" He's like, well, and you kind of get the sense like it kind of like they're 2 different guys, they're doing doing the same thing, but one believes in the law and stuff, and then he said like the law doesn't work, whatever. Okay, they end up he wants Dwight to they go to Texas to meet this guy named Deacon,
the watchmaker.
The watchmaker, but he says he's a guy who basically builds high, plastic explosives. He's a very dangerous guy. Along the way there, they get pulled over after even though it's funny after what's his name says, "Hey, I need you slow down there." He's, "Well, if I don't do 100 miles per hour, keep there, it's gonna take forever if you get back. You get your beauty sleep, whatever." They get pulled over. Dwight goes out, and the guy recognizes him, and they basically smooths over the cop, saying how Pollak is kind of like he's going through a nasty divorce, and he's can't get up anymore and stuff. So
and he bribes him.
He bribes him with Oklahoma Thunder, basketball things. The guy does that. Let's go. No, I'll take it. Because when he flashed the badge, firstly at the guy, the cop didn't buy it. There's the FBI. Why would the looking guy look like Manfredi?
You still got jurisdiction though.
Yeah, I still got jurisdiction though, but and so after Dwight meets this guy, he's a real, even though Dwight would say, like, it's easier for me to just pop in the head. Why do we gotta do all this stuff? Anyway, he comes back on the drive back though. Dwight kind of realizes this might be an unsanctioned kind of mission. This may be personal for between Deacon and Kevin Pollock's character.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on is the big thing like that. But we got shenanigans going on while Dwight's gone because Tyson is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, the whole thing with Tyson here, he's definitely feeling it and all that. And Bodie's been interesting because of how we started off the season. And Cleo's got more screen time already, I think, in this season than she has in previous ones. Mm-hmm. So she has love tattooed across her neck. And she has, I can't figure out what the tattoo is on her left breast there, too, because obviously she's no skinny mini. She seems to be amply built and she's becoming more central. But what's cool is that her and Tyson have this natural chemistry that Bodie can't seem to get out of because there's a fight and kind of like an argument between of what they're going to do. Are we going to stay here and do it? Because the general, he's wearing the general stars on those upper left a jacket there. He basically says, we don't do anything until we know our enemy. Tyson's like, yo, we got to find out something about the enemy. Otherwise, how can we do it? So they end up going with Bodie, and it's not funny, not stupid, but it's just obviously that it's lighthearted discussions because
they take Tyson's car.
Exactly. The Cybertruck.
And I love how Bodie's like, because they're talking about, he's like, because Tyson trying to Bodie's like, they follow, like basically they stake out Cole's truck. His Cole's at his gym where he works out of, and stuff. And then they're like, oh, and like, we're going to tell him. He's like, Bodie's like, in this, you're the freaking, polished refrigerator, pretty much. So you can stand like a sore thumb. There's no way he cannot see you behind him.
It's funny because they're arguing about who's supposed to be in charge.
Whether it's
Tyson. Tyson's like, man, I'm in charge. It's like, well, technically it's based off of revenue, and that because of my weed shop, which you got there, pulled in more money than you're doing. Ergo, I was like, man, fuck you with Ergo. But then him and Cleo, they were looking at each other, and it's cool. And what I liked about the scene here, seeing out the Cybertruck, watching him, is the guy comes out, and the dude's a jack dude. I mean, let's be honest. But he's got the black pickup truck. I forget what kind of truck it is, but I wrote down here in my notes, which I almost never do, because it has got the big the eagle on the back and all that. Yeah. But the license plate is too rich for you. Like this bad guy. Because they follow him and they decide, you know what, we're going to walk to this decrepit building where he's going. And this is when the episode to me gets juicy and fun.
I just want to clarify though. So Tyson's going to try to say that he was number 2, but and Cleo's like, Bodie's or Goody's number 2. You're like number 3 or whatever. Go by revenue. It'd be me because I have the weed shop and all that stuff. I make more money. And then she's like, 1, 2, you're both fucking annoying. Stop. I love Cleo. She's kind of like the mom in this. Kind of tells them to shut up. And so they follow the thing. And Tyson wants to go inside, and Bodie's like, "Are you freaking kidding me? We'll get killed." They know what they're
going into.
So, and Cleo basically puts her foot down and says, we're going inside. We find out information. We get the information. We take it back to Dwight. Dwight wants information. You're going good. They go in there, and it turns out it's old people's place. They're playing bingo.
An illicit gambling hall, sir.
It's a gambling hall, yes. In a warehouse.
Ill repute.
Yes.
What's the game of choice here?
It's bingo. But the funny part is that while they're all sitting down there, and here comes Goody shows up, and they're like, "What the fuck's Goody doing here?" Like, Cleo's like, "I called him because in case shit goes down." And it looks like
and smart.
Goody recognizes that they're running a scam. They're not paying out their winners, so he cons them, convinces them that like Tyson win. So they stiff them, they rob them, they say no, and then they go to the strip club, and it's called Strokers, which is funny.
Well, anytime you win big at bingo, like you do at anything, when you've got games like that, that's what we call fun money rather than money, right? You got to celebrate in a strip club. Thank you. Yeah,
and so they all get kind of separated. Tyson goes and he meets this girl, and she brings on VIP Destiny, who basically wants she wants to get out of the town. She's tired of his life and stuff, and she sees him as might be an opportunity. Until Cole comes in and punches him in the face. and brings them outside because Cole did this. Tyson ripped off them and fucked with their operation. He basically he beats up Cole. Cole beats up him up, and then he's got his goons out there, and he ends up putting a gun to Destiny's head. He says you get the count of like 10. I'm gonna blow her brains out. He's like, no. He's like, you need to tell me where the 50 is. The hidden whiskey. And Tyson eventually cracks because he doesn't want her to see her die. And because of this, they broke it.
Let me ask you this: did you think she was working for them?
I don't think so. I mean, it'd be very convenient if she was. She might, but she may know who they are because if you're working that kind of seedy business, you kind of know who the people that not the fuck.
Serenity, not Destiny. My apologies. I was thinking Destiny because he's asking her, "Hey, what do you?"
Destiny's Sapphire. I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah, anyway, but everybody in town knows who the Dunmires are. So right. I mean, I don't think she went. She might have been working for him, but who knows? Maybe she lured him in. Yes,
there's not that many strippers in a small town.
No. And who's to say that Cole hasn't already been with her? Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, after this, basically, we see the Cybertruck, and he's in the truck there, and they pretty much, beat him up, and Dwight ends up getting a call because he's finally back, and he's having dinner with Delany, Margaret, and he goes there and he finds out that all the barrels are missing, and Tyson's like, I fucked up. Meanwhile, we have Mitch with Cleo.
This is where I feel like I might have been on the right track, and I didn't think she was. I don't know if she was a plant or not, but I said I thought she was going to be a bad seed, and she leads us along in a way that's very good because she does small behavior, but it escalates where, they're going out, and Mitch. Let's be honest, he's a fool right now. He's pining for. He's simping out big time.
It's an ex-girlfriend. And it comes back to like those stereotypes. When you have an ex, there's a reason why they're their ex. And we're led to believe that the reason that they broke up because he went to jail for drugs. But who did he get the drugs from, though? Maybe he got it from her. We don't know. All we know is that he's got a rap. He cannot get arrested. Otherwise, he's back in the slammer. He's not good at this. So he brings his Pontiac, sweet Rockford Files. Pontiac.
Yeah, the old Firebird, I think it was, right? It was a Firebird, I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, so he lets her drive because she needed air, and she's racing it down. And they stop at a gas station. She robs a gas station, pretty much in a sense where she hides stuff.
She does the little klepto bullshit stuff.
It kind of feels like they're adults going back to be when they were teenagers.
Exactly.
Yes, she's reliving.
Good here, bro.
Yes, because she's spiraling. Her dad's dead, and she's mad at the fact that nobody's doing anything. So she ends up driving to who's Dunmire's property, does donuts. His front lawn is his nightly manicured lawn, and they get stuck. She gets out there, she throws a bottle of brandy or bourbon onto his porch, and then she's got throw the lighter. Mitch gets grabs her, but now the goon's there, and basically Dunmire's now basically alert to what's going on and says, we played the cards that were dealt, and she's like, I'm gonna do you what you do with my dad, you son of a bitch, and stuff. And I
really liked in here how Dunmire came across, because he could have whacked them there, no. And he didn't, and his people were there, and he's like, let him go, and he was completely under control. Robert Patrick, what a way to make use of your maybe 1 minute of screen time in this episode. Seriously. This is very effective. It was done, and it shows her in a way because she's just a sexy blonde trying to bang him and basically use him, and he's a kind of simp. So I wasn't liking seeing these two together.
No.
But this makes sense. I like how the tension is there. To your point, Mitch can't afford to make a mistake,
but he really
trying to be romantic with her, and she doesn't really care about any of that. So definitely no good.
On the way back, he pretty much reads the riot. He's like, "You fucking stupid." It's like if I get one problem or the cops, whatever, I'm in jail, and then this is all fucked. You want revenge? You trust in Dwight. He's there. We're gonna help you. We're gonna get this guy. We've dealt with guys before it and got rid of them too. It's like it's our first rodeo, but you gotta stay under the radar. We don't work above the radar, otherwise we can't work.
Yes.
And it's all shot. It's like, we're here. We got a bunch of people who are ready to protect you, and you can't do this shit. And she kind of sobers up at that point, because she's already been drinking and driving before. That's why she was so pissed off and she did all that stuff. Now that she's sober a little bit more, she apologizes. But But yeah, but said like the last thing we have here is with Dwight, getting standing inside the mine shaft, whatever, and seeing how the barrels are
I
gone.
think it was stashed in the family cemetery in the main
Yes,
crypt,
yes.
right? They had
Yeah. But it was like a little dilted, like not a mine shaft, but
yeah.
the
Well,
way
it could have been a mine shaft because
yeah,
there's all those kind of things, but it was definitely underneath all that. So
yes.
it was kind of
So
creepy looking.
well, yeah, it's like ugh. If you want to do experimenting on people and stuff, there's where you go. Anyway, or if you want to shoot your rifle on the ground, like a countdown. But anyway, yeah. So Tyson, we talked about this before we went live. Tyson's not going to get in trouble.
Don't like
But
Tyson.
I don't
like decision making.
I don't want him again. And that's the thing. If Tyson ends up getting in trouble, what's going to say he might not turn on Dwight, whatever, or do something stupid because he's got to try and prove his loyalty. And he's been in trouble before, and set him down. And this is the second time in this episode, or not this episode, but this series, in the first 3 episodes, where somebody's done something stupid. Bodie with the gun to the guy's head,
Yes.
And Dwight's not really paying attention as much close because he's too busy focusing on the FBI or breathing down his neck, and he's got to deal with that shit. But there's also another thing. When Dwight was riding shotgun with Kevin Pollak's character, they brought up about Armand.
Yes.
And he said, like, are you sure Armand's with his wife and stuff in Colorado? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. It's like, At the end of this episode, Armand's wife shows up looking for Armand. She said, like, he's missing. His apartment's cleared out and everything. He's all gone. Armand is working for the FBI.
Well, you think so?
I think so. I think he went to the FBI. And
it could make sense.
Or they sent him first to go try and buy some stuff from this guy, Deacon. And he caught on. Killed him.
Yeah, the not knowing can be a very effective tool here because, when you know something, like we know Jackson's going to be coming in, and so I thought the watchmaker might have been him. Nope. So I guess we'll get him a little bit later. But the weakest thing about this episode, even though I think he's a strong actor, is Kevin Pollak's character because, okay, you're like, Stallone's a tough guy. Stallone's not a big guy in terms of like height. He might be 5'8", 5'9" right now when he might have been a strong 5'10" younger. Like when we reviewed Rainbow, we talked about his physicality, right? So when you see Kevin Pollak, who's like several inches shorter, even though he's an FBI guy, he doesn't give you that. Be like a smart nerd guy, or be like tough guy where you've earned it. I don't know what he is here yet, and I think that's
he's Cousin Larry. That's what he comes off as, Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers.
I didn't really watch that, so with Balky and all.
Well, Belky, we don't talk about Belky, and the other guy was supposed to be the normal guy, and then Belky was always causing him problems, but he was a wimp. Both of them were, or Belky was the one that always stood up for him. Anyway,
I frankly would have liked it if Pollak's character was a bit of an asshole, and here he's looking like a bit of a dope, which, okay, that's fine, but I just can't tell the whole backdrop and if it's related to, remember the end of season 1, the lady that he had slept with originally that was working for them, that was a big part of that. I just go, well, probably it's not going to be related, but boy, you go from kind of a strong, interesting angle in season 1 to, yeah, Kevin Pollak's a wimp here in this series, and I don't know if I like it because the seriousness of what happens in this episode, with even though it's kind of funny, it's done seriously. Is there something where Tyson's looking to form his own character with the stripper, who's probably not dead? And, hey, she might be another side character that joins them, and he wants to be his own man. But when they beat him up and then they throw him in the back of the Cybertruck, they didn't realize it was bulletproof, because you cannot. I mean, we've seen all the videos, right? Throw barrels of guns, and maybe a 50 cal. But I thought that was funny and humorous and ironic, but very serious, because I'm like, to your point, he fucked up twice again. That's like, you're becoming a liability. An Armin probably is, but we don't know yet. So it's good that we don't know some things.
Pollak also brings up Shy Rob, or whatever his name was. The guy is the game from Mobster,
the family head. Yep.
Yeah. And Dwight's like, I don't know the guy with that name, trying to fish for information. He's mad because, like, 25 years you didn't rat at anybody. It's like, it's like, here's the thing about FBI, how stupid they are. They don't realize that he served 25 years for something he didn't do. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't kill anybody. So it's just he still got that kind of card and stuff. It's like
I want to
But
point out here the picture that you selected here for the
yeah,
background where he's on the phone. Okay, pink and ring mob guy. That's Italian. That's pretty typical. But I mentioned this in one of our other streams too about how I get irritated with some fashion choices. And to me, you have to match your shirt up with your handkerchief pocket, not your fucking tie. And Stallone has it right in here. So I don't know. It's a more serious season, even though it's got all the elements of some humor and stuff before. We have some better of the sub characters getting their meat and potatoes in, where we go, okay, they're not just a dumbass in the background selling pot or cookies, right? I liked how there already is some difficulty. And you know what? The least of the difficulty to me is the bourbon. It's supposed to be gone and difficult until the end of the season, the way I look at it. But I like the fact that Tyson, is, really fucked up bad. And we got to see what happens with the stripper. And we already know that this blonde, crazy chick or like that's not going to be bad news. And it's like, wait a minute, we're trying to help your ass out and you don't even fucking get it. I mean, It's like, Jesus Christ, how stupid can you be, right? And we've said before, the strength of the show is we get about halfway through and we realize that we get so many different things that can go bad with Stallone, but then somehow he manages to pull it out. Although sometimes it's convenient writing, like the shoot out the horse thing before.
Yeah.
But still, the only thing we probably didn't see this episode was Stallone's daughter, the one that is with Cole now.
Yes.
Kind of remind you that he did a nice thing for her, right? Because we were talking about that a bit last time.
Well, yeah, the nice thing for her and all, but it's like, is she gonna snitch on Dwight if they make a plan to go attack, go to Dunbar, at the thing? Can she be trusted anymore? Not to say that that she will betray them. She may not even know who Cole is, which is kind of weird though if she doesn't know who Cole is, if she's lived there. But I don't remember if they've said that if she moved out from another part of the town or whatever. But then again, the Dunmires, I mean, if you're in the underground kind of network, you kind of know who the Dunmires are. But if you're in the public, section, you might not know who they are. You might show up, you might occasionally hear about them. But if you don't associate with that, remember, Oklahoma's it's a huge state.
Yeah, but you talked a bit about when they're on the road trip, right? Because I think it was like 3 hours to where they're going and everything. When you think about it in terms of how conversations go between people, if you said, "Hey, Rob, what's going on?" Like, "Yeah, man, my feet are killing me today," or like that. "Oh, yeah, well, what'd you do?" I'm giving you information and you're receiving it and you're responding to it. Even though he seems like a wimp here, it doesn't seem like Stallone's actually realizing in the moment that he's not giving him anything. He's just getting all the information he wants because Stallone.
Well, that's what he does.
That's not smart on his part.
Wow. Well, it's the same thing when when they wanted to look at the camera in season 2 on the guy's door, ring door, because they wanted to see who the driver was. If they had remember the explosive, they want to see the camera. So Stallone went to the guy's house.
Yes.
Saying, yeah, the video. So he's smart. He's street smart. He doesn't know all his fancy new technology stuff, but he's street smart. But he kind of recognizes, hey, that's one of those things that record things. Can I look? It's with the video. Can I look at that? And as he talks to Polak whatever,
I'm just calling him FBI from now on.
Yeah, I'm calling G, bro. Yeah. Talking to him, and he basically you can tell he's like, maybe this guy isn't all up in the up and up, especially when they're driving back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say this.
Because here's this thing. Because what if it turned out that this guy, the FBI agent, is working for Samuel L. Jackson?
Something like this because it's not. It's just not right. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah. He's either
got abducted, right? And he shows them the badge. He's got other people around him, but they weren't in Quantico. I mean, Dwight, it could be a nice op there that we don't know. That would be a little too slick for the show, but
that's what I mean. Right. If he's doing something off the books, it's not going to be at Quantico and stuff. It's going to be in some little warehouse they acquired or whatever. Make it look like it is. It's not that easy to make it look like you're in somewhere if you don't know where you are. If you blindfold someone so they can't see where they are, walk them down the hallway, walk them in the room. All they see is what it looks like, when you're in a normal thing of facility, doesn't mean it actually is, you know. So like I said, this guy could be an FBI agent, but I said he might not be someone who's actually an honest cop. He might be someone who's out for revenge. You know, we don't know what this guy Deacon did. You know, we said remember he plans bomb. Maybe someone that Deacon knows, or Deacon killed somebody that at the pull whatever the FBI guy, you know, knew he got killed because of him, and now he wants revenge, and he's gonna use the gangster because the gangster will get out, you know, and it's under the radar, and if it blows up, it's not a hit. Hey, I had nothing to do with it, you know. Use, you know, and honestly, he thinks that he can play Dwight, and Dwight's playing him. Because especially when he sends Dwight in there to learn about this Deacon guy, you know, yeah, obviously that's recon for Dwight. They're like, who am I doing with and stuff? You know, why does he want him? You know, and stuff. And maybe Dwight will cut this guy a deal. You know, the backstab.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. Dwight's going to have to crowdsource some of the killings that are going to happen by all this and that.
We also have, Belovechek, not in this episode whatsoever, but we know he was talking to New York. So remember, that's another thing that's happening in the background too. So we can't forget about that either.
Yeah, I must say this, and I want it to sound positive, not in a sexy way, because I'm the one that likes to talk the fashion stuff. And I like to talk food, and I like to talk how hot men and women are. Just like when we got done doing Desperado, and I mentioned just how incredibly attractive those two are. It's significant with the two that are in there.
Yes.
But in here, the whole thing with Tyson and the stripper, what I like about the show, sometimes it surprises me, and I appreciate it and like it, even if all the time it doesn't work for me, is I really like the whole idea that in the essence of Tyson's character, even though we think he's a fuck up and he's cosplaying, you know, kind of the thing. Yeah. I wondered if the arc ends up being where he goes up against Dwight and like kills him at the end, and then he does a spin-off show. Not that they are going to, or he's that strong of an actor, but writing wise it would make sense. But the fact that he meets the stripper who's just absolutely, you know, stunning, and strippers are strippers, don't get me wrong, but this Asian one, it's just a little bit different as far as the character and how you can introduce somebody like it. And outside of his daughter, who now is the bartender and all that, they pretty much got everybody and their angle addressed when in this episode, when they normally don't always do that because there's so many characters, right? I'm not saying they need to call in and kill a whole bunch off, but you know, it's just we say, okay, Mitch, you're being a little bit bitch here. Let's hope you snap out of it here. Okay, she's probably going to die. She's not going to last it. Maybe the stripper does. Armand, what's going on with him?
We also have
scared to death.
There's also another unknown that has not appeared at all in this season so far. Other than, you know, everyone's been talked about, but this one hasn't been talked about whatsoever, and that's Dwight Manfredi's daughter, the one who left Tulsa last season. You know, is she going to be pulled into any of this at all this season, or is she just kind of written off for a while because they don't have to do with her? I also noticed that Taylor Sheridan had nothing to do with the writing this episode.
Yeah, when he produces a show and his name's on it, he gets all that. And he might tell them basically, but he'll hire the people to. And sometimes you'll get a show where you'll have a different director, even though there might be a showrunner.
Yeah,
and writers. That's how it works.
Yeah. But I mean, normally he has his name attached to every episode because he has a writing credit because he writes for each episode. This episode, he let someone else completely write by himself, unless he ghostwrote and didn't put his name on there.
Really, really liked the mature vibe and the seriousness of this season so far. I think it's the vibe I prefer more out of these 3 seasons. I mean, just so far. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I really appreciate that because to me, it's not about how cool being mobsters are. It's about dealing with the characters that you have.
Did he tell his sister about the FBI? No, that's right. She's calling him. That's right. She's calling him. I don't know where you are. You know. Yeah. So the only one who knows is Margaret.
But his sister there, she knows something's up because she's smart as a cookie. She's the one trying to keep them all on task there too. And if you got a message to write, you can give it to me. And that's where Amon's wife showed up or whatever. And yeah. So what do you think happens next? Predictions good so far, sir.
So there's going to be some kind of retaliation. The booze have been stolen. Dwight's going to end up having to maybe take out some distribution so he can't sell it. There might be some exchange or hostage negotiation. I don't know whether, but war. That's what I'm thinking. War. Can we trust Belichick to come with them and go after? Because they're going to have to go head on. Mm-hmm. Either Dwight's going to be smart and run a side op while they're doing this. Obviously, But
Does the
yeah,
bourbon survive the story here in this season, or does it get destroyed in the process?
at the end, well, here's the thing.
Because it's alcoholic. I mean,
Yeah,
you could use it as a fuel to like burn up
yes,
Dunmire's place.
yes, you could. The problem is, if you do that, Cleo does not have anything to live on. She only has her dad's name for the bourbon and all that stuff, and she may not know how to replicate it. And we don't know if she's just gonna give up the whole entire business, But it'd be dumb.
She's a lost soul, and I don't feel sorry for her.
Well, here's the thing: is like you said, she's spiraling out because her dad basically, was murdered, and then she feels like nobody's doing anything. And I understand her; she's a very emotional. She wants answers, and that's very millennial. And there anybody who is an emotional death like that, emotional murder.
But here's the thing. Her father, in that brief time that we saw him dealing with Manfredi and Dunmire himself before he got burned up, he just seemed so much better in terms of acting and his story as far as a character than she has in all the time she's gotten so far. That's like, oh, you're fucking around with your high school crush or whatever like that, and you're not even, you're just trying to have him do stupid shit.
She was immature. Yes.
But my point is, if the father's got to know that, so like, why the hell would he even want to trust his business to this immature little girl? It'd been better if she were like a little bit more serious.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Facing her or something.
Here's the thing, though. He was gonna die anyway, and if he didn't die, she wouldn't be running it. He was gonna be selling it to Dunmire.
Yeah.
So he gave it to her in the will as another FU to Dunmire. That way, she has control, and Dunmire doesn't have it. And she was a character basically. She was like the Bonnie and Clyde, she's the Bonnie who basically me, like, okay, baby, but then she kind of grew up because you saw she was spiraling. She was drinking. She was starting to get into back her old habits. And now that I think she's going to be different from now on.
She better be.
What are you going to do about it? You going to yell at
everybody
TV?
First? I want her dead first out of everybody.
No, I
don't want dead.
Tyson first. Tyson, I can't stand him.
Oh,
his mama needs to come over and just smack him across the face.
I like his parents. Maybe we'll see his dad again. It just goes to show, though, when you're given directions from your boss, the boss is right or it's wrong. The boss is always the boss. Sit there and do your fucking work, and you have run.
So here's my prediction, though. I think there is going to be repercussions for Tyson. He's going to tell him you're out. He's not going to kill him. He's going to tell him, if you did this, you're done. You almost died. You're staying with your parents. You're done. I don't want you involved in this. Because you can't prove. I think because you can't prove to be loyal. You can't prove. I mean, there's loyalty, but you can't prove to be. So like, you can't prove to follow orders. And because now Dwight's not only is out of money, because and he's got this war going with Dunmire because of this crap going on, and he's dealing with all this other crap in the FBI. He is reaching his limits, I think. And I think he's gonna yell at Tyson.
I do think,
and Tyson's gonna act out.
I think Stallone's portrayal. I think he's so completely relaxed right now that it doesn't even seem like he's trying. He's so smooth and relaxed. Not that he couldn't. He's not a TV guy, right? No. And so this is kind of a new experience for him. He knows in his mid-70s and looks great and all that. I think he's just so naturally relaxed
80.
Right now.
As far as I think
he's close to 80. He absolutely is. Absolutely. But
yeah, I don't think he's mid. I think he's actually 80. He's 80 years old.
Yeah, man. I just feel like he's having fun. I'm like, man, this guy, man, I wish he makes several more seasons of this. You know what I'm saying?
He's what Vince McMahon used to be.
I don't know what that means.
Hard ass. Tell me what to do and stuff, Be control. Final thoughts. Tyson there's something needs to happen to him, consequences to him, because his actions twice have basically screwed over him and caused problems. And if he can't, I know he's eager to help, but he's got to keep that in check. And it's the second time he's messed up and almost caused, everyone else to get basically injured or whatever, worse. Because he can't be trusted. Because not only that, he talked. They beat him up. He talked. He squealed. So and I think Dwight's also kind of feeling kind of like, hey, I've been kind of treating him like, like a kid. because that's what he is, you know. And this guy wants respect, and he's doing what he can, and he's kind of been baby facing him, or babying him, and he's gonna have to, hey, it's consequences. I don't think he's gonna take a finger or anything like that, even though he should. But I mean, he's gonna give him a stern talking to, and and Mitch already tried talking sense into Tyson. Tyson doesn't care. Tyson is selfish, and he needs to be taught a lesson.
I will not argue that. I definitely
and I think eventually in this series you're gonna see, if they're smart, they'll have Tyson pretty much like get a stern talking to, whatever, and Tyson, being the kid he is, Tyson's not gonna make it through the rest of the series. He's gonna die. He's gonna do something stupid, proving his loyalty.
I just don't know if they're trying to make him be basically the exact same thing as Dwight, or if they're trying to make him like the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Tyson's nothing like Dwight.
I agree, but he's young, and the point is we don't know what Dwight was like when he was young. We just know what he did, and we went into the 25 years where he was behind bars, right, for being loyal.
Yeah.
So we don't know if an opportunity like that comes up that he gets to prove himself. Tyson, I'm thinking about. So for me, for Tyson, I go, in terms of writing, do you set somebody up to be the exact same thing as you, and that's the source of tension?
In the first season,
you have him being the opposite, and that's the source of tension.
I'll just say this: final thoughts. The first season, Tyson was pretty much, it was like, that's the young me that I used to be like. I'm gonna give it, always eager, wanted to prove and all this stuff, and he told them that, like, look where that got me, 25 years, in jail for something I didn't do, It's like, it's a waste of your life, This is real life. This isn't cosplay. And Tyson doesn't understand that he thinks this is cosplay. He thinks he's a legit gangster, and that's how stupid he is. And I said, he's gonna kick him out. He's gonna be like, dude, I can't have my conscience. You're fucking up, and you're gonna get yourself killed, and I have to worry about your parents, all that bullshit. No, he's gonna say you're out.
Seeing him in season 4,
and then Bodie's gonna get yelled at too.
Tyson's parents, like at a funeral, would be pretty fucking cool to me. I mean, it would be good TV, I think.
I just want Dwight finally just snapping and yelling at Tyson, to like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? You think you're a tough guy? Prove it. And they get in a fist fight. Come on, take your best shot. And he just knocks him down. And he's like, see, you're never gonna be me. Something like that. He needs some.
Tyson just can't go off all butter. It's fine. I gotta act like my own man. I gotta go step out, find my own way. But fuck you, Tyson, bitch.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my prediction. I think something's gonna happen.
That's your future, sir.
We're gonna have a rift between Tyson and Dwight.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
They need to have that. Otherwise, it's just Tyson can get away with doing anything, and it doesn't matter.
Tyson versus Bigfoot. You got to have Tyson win, so he can. Yeah, Tyson would have to go over so he gets some clout to think like he is the fucking man, right?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't want that. I don't want Tyson anywhere near. Tyson is just a joke. He's a character. He's the cosplay. He's the wannabe gangster. Like, and until somebody actually is a gangster and shows him, like, yeah, you're a joke, and this basically breaks his legs. But overall, yeah, I'm more interested to see what's Bill's doing. And Armand, is he working for the FBI? Is he dead? Was he killed because he was a first informant for the FBI? And that's how he learned about Dwight. You're ratted.
Wouldn't it be something if Armand, for example, in a series of flashbacks, because, previously on Tulsa King, they get you caught up, right?
Yeah, they can do it, yeah.
If he was dirty from the very first episode, remember how he was mowing the lawn and all that, and then he wanted to get in because blah, blah, blah. What if it went back and it's like, no, he manufactured all that shit? Because he kind of was a bitch back then with his wife and all that until he got back in with the group and had to prove himself. But wouldn't that be a bit of a swerve? I'm not saying they should do it, but he's slimy enough to the way you describe him, and I do agree with you on it that I can't trust him either. He doesn't annoy me like the way Tyson does, but I think Tyson's like a simpleton. He's like a little kid where you get annoyed with him, but you don't let it piss you off because you go, he's just a child.
The other thing,
I think could cause some serious harm to Dwight right now.
Armand's wife, I don't understand her whatsoever. Either she hates his guts, wants nothing to do with them. The next moment, she's convinced by Dwight and them, to let him see the kid stuff. And now she's
Relate.
accusing his them of basically murdering
Yeah.
Armand and stuff, and it's just like his sister. And I love the fact that Dwight's sister was so nice to her too and everything. He's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And being like, all right, gee, I hope your tires don't pop on the way home.
Yeah,
or
we're
whatever.
trying to look for him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that when they see it. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, exactly. We're Italians. We care.
Yeah. Hey, Italian mobsters are better than Irish mobsters or Russian gangsters.
Well, don't want to piss too many people off there with those kinds of comments, but you never really know. We never really talked this mob versus that mob when it comes to all that stuff.
When I think of Irish mafia, I think of like these are the guys who basically like chop you to pieces and stuff like that. Even Italians will basically kind of be nice to you, give you courtesy, they're civilized, you know.
Well, just like they say in Rocky, if you can't fight or if you don't want to work for me, at least you can cook, kind of thing, or whatever too.
Yeah.
I do want to add as we finish up here tonight. I'd gotten a comment here on Extreme Movie Show about a movie we did recently, and so I wanted to acknowledge Rooster8442 who had typed there. He was listening to us. He's a newer listener and subscriber to the Extreme Movie Show. Remember how we had both? It's rare, but we both found a movie that we really, really loved and thought was incredible. And it was a first watch for us, and that was Sorcerer, the William Friedkin movie.
Yes, I saw his comment.
We talked about that. He was starting to go through our catalog, Rooster was, and he made a note about how Stephen King said Sorcerer is a great movie too, and all that. So I wanted to point that out and say thanks for listening and being a new sub, and of course for everybody else that retweets us out as our audience continues to grow. We get more people listening and requesting things and subscribers, because here's the thing. We don't really, like I say, hate watch. We say what we like, we don't like. We're raw. We're not sitting here with a bunch of names and notes in front of us. We're just talking out like we were around the coffee cooler, and that's how we're different on an Extreme Movie Show. And someone like Rooster with some insight like that too. I don't profess to know everything about every movie that we go. I'm not a movie guy at all. I just like watching them. I like talking about them the most, and that's how it is. So
the thing too, cool
because obviously, someone that likes Sorcerer, it's like, yeah. And here's something else that kind of makes it cool, and it's true. This is how people used to do movies,
Well, too, also the fact that we're not a corporate thing, like, we got to talk about this movie come out because this came out in theaters. It's hot and topic. Let's talk about this. No, we go back and we talk about the ones we like. I think it's more like legit, more real, more human, versus like kind of like the corporate machine. We're just pumping them out, no emotion whatsoever. It's a review, and boom, it's done. It doesn't feel personal.
King. 3 things you must know.
Yeah,
I watched all King, and then this happened. I mean, all this.
I watched Tulsa King
episode reaction.
I watched Tulsa King season 3, episode 3, so you don't have to. I hate those freaking titles. I watched the movie, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. You keep watching the ones I'll never watch. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch your video. And it's like.
And those that have been asking about the Hannibal television show reviews, those are continuing. Professor Pixel, the young 20-something, he's had some outside commitments that's prevented him from doing it on Sunday, so that will be coming back here soon. We have not stopped it, but we do other things in the meantime. You and I have a couple things going on Sunday. Do you want to acknowledge what they are at this time?
As far as I know, we only have one thing going on Sunday. So live, yeah. And I forgot what that was because
it'd be the Terminalist Dark Wolf season review.
Well, that's offline, buddy.
Well, damn it, then I thought that was going to be live.
No, that's offline recording.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're doing on
well, it probably should be.
We just do Ninja. Well, we do Ninja 2. Since the first one got a lot of views with not Adrian Brody, the other guy.
Scott Adkins,
the same person. Who cares? It's the same heck. Killer. So he's gonna be back in the second one. We'll review that, and then we'll check out some other movies. I picked up the Ballerina movie with Keanu Reeves and Dimas. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
I will tell you this. I did see a tremendous movie that I might review live at some point, and of course you're welcome to hop in. It's not your kind of movie, but remember how I mentioned how Talk to Me I thought was a fantastic little small budget Australian horror movie.
It's a great song, Talk to Me.
Yeah, well, that's Wild Orchid, absolutely. Great club song. The guys that did that did another one after this one called Bring Her Back, and it's fucking batshit crazy, and I absolutely love it. So that's a top recommendation.
Reanimator, Bring Her Back. What the hell?
It's a blind teenager and her stepbrother end up getting adopted by a lady who's got another foster kid in the household, and it's just fucking gonzo, man. It's absolutely awesome. It's not as fun as Weapons was, because Weapons is absolutely tremendous. I'm laughing even thinking about it, but this is right up there too. So I highly recommend you guys check that out here this Halloween season too. Just a blast of a movie. I can't stress that enough. These guys have something. It's the only second film of theirs I think they've done that I've seen, so I definitely want to be talking about them more.
Also, I'm thinking we're probably going to start jumping into some for movie reviews. We're going to start doing some more Halloween stuff. It's October. Absolutely. Why not start in there?
For us, the season's breaking. It's going to get to about 68 degrees Fahrenheit next week for us as a low, and that's significant here in Central Florida, sir. It's only 84 today.
Yeah, it was only like 60 something today, and now it's 56.
So. I'm going to have pumpkin cheesecake now that I'm thinking about it, and I will talk to you and everybody here at the Xtreme Movie Show Sunday Night Live. Good night now.
All right. Enjoy your pumpkin spice latte, bitch.
Pumpkin's the fucking best.